Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Jim here, and as you can see, I went and did it again. Another box from Thomann. This one wasn't of my choosing, if you can believe it or not. This is the first time in history that I'm actually demoing a guitar that you specifically asked for. Multiple people in different comments all wanted this exact guitar in this exact finish demoed. Said I'm not made of money, but I have a plan, which we'll get into in maybe tomorrow or the next day's video. It'll make more sense, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. Today we're here to talk about the Harley Benton Single Cut Deluxe with the Gotoh tuners. Let's check it out. Okay, first initial thoughts upon looking at this guy. It's got kind of a satiny-ish finish on the back of the neck. The neck feels in between a 60s slim taper and a 50s. It's a very modern feeling neck for sure. It's got the cutaway. It's very nice, so that should be good in practice. I like that on the SC 552. Other than that, the action's a little high on it. I don't think it'll be unplayable, but top quality hardware and components. I'm really excited to give this thing a listen. But before we do any of that, let's get out on the bench and take a closer look. Alrighty, let's get started. So, things that make this model a little bit different from the SC552. This has a Gotoh bridge on it and a Gotoh stop tailpiece, as well as Gotoh branded tuners. Now, this has the Tesla pickups, just like the other one did. Obviously, I think we got a push-pull here. Yep, we do. So, unlike the SC552, this is splittable into single coils, so that's pretty cool. So, as far as the quality control, the switch feels pretty good. Feels like it'll be pretty reliable. And knobs, nothing loose. That's really good. And this is a single bound guitar. I'll let you see kind of how they did here with the binding. Overall, it looks pretty good. Back. No real evidence of anything there. Other side, let's check out the binding here. Looking pretty clean. Cool. And before we finish up on the body, we'll check out the electronics. As you can see, we have full-size pots with a push-pull and a little capacitor on it. So, really clean. They always do a good job of making sure the control cavities are, well organized. All right, shifting our focus to the neck here. Let's check the frets and see how smooth they are. I will say these are not as smooth as the ones that we just got on the Fusion 3. They're not bad. They're definitely above what you would expect in its price range, but they're not as good as those ones. Now, people wanted me to check to see if the frets were level. So I invested in this guy called a Fret Guru. It's really good for setups and other things, but what we're gonna use it for right now is to just check and see that the frets are level with each other. See if it rocks. Nope. Aha, okay. The last fret is a little bit lower than the rest of them. However, as a whole here, pretty good job of the frets being level. Alright, the headstock. This is where the Gotoh tuners are. Let's feel how they are. Good ratio. This is high quality stuff. I've used Gotoh in the past and I know what I'm getting. It's really, 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 really reliable. I love the made in Japan stuff, but you guys know that. I'm biased. However, bias or not, that's quality. Now, the only blemishes I found on this guitar so far were both on the headstock. They're very minor. There's a little one right there in the binding, and there's a little black dot right there at the top on the white. And yep, Gotoh branded tuners. We have a serial number that starts with the 21 in parentheses, and then a very long one made in Indonesia. Very clean guitar. Outside of those two little blemishes on the tip of the headstock, which were very minor, those are the only flaws as far as quality control with this instrument. And the final thing I noticed upon inspecting this guitar, as you can see, it's not the cleanest as far as aesthetically, the connection from where the neck binding ends and where it meets into the headstock binding. A little bit dirty, but again, not a deal breaker. Alright, so after inspecting this guitar, I have to say, great weight for Les Paul, 7 pounds 8 ounces. It does have a few little minor aesthetic imperfections, but outside of that, I mean, they're really minor details. There's nothing egregious that would make me want to refund this or complain about it on the internet. I'm just pointing it out because when I do these things, I try to be as thorough and as honest as possible. So, without further ado, let's hear what it sounds like. When I was filming this demo, I wanted to play a lot of simple stuff and show really quickly the difference between the coils being split and not split, because it's something that I hadn't experienced before with the Tesla pickups. When I got the SC 552, that did not have the coil split ability, so I just wanted to make sure that people would be aware of what to expect from the coil splitting on this. That being said, I don't love it. It's not something that I really could see myself using, but in full humbucker mode, I think these sound pretty good. Getting to the feel of the instrument, this is where things get a little bit dicey, because this guitar did arrive from Germany and it desperately needs a setup. I opened this guitar at 9 p.m. on Thursday night. You're going to be seeing this at 8 a.m. on Friday morning, my time, of course, Eastern Standard Time. So I didn't have the biggest allotment to do a setup like I normally would in a scenario like this, so I just powered through it as it was. But that being said, the neck on it, the shape of it is fantastic. I love the gloss finish on it. It's so smooth, and even once I started to get a little bit of sweat on my hands, no problem sliding up and down the neck. The frets themselves, a little bit rough, not a problem. Hit it with something like Gorgamite and you'll have fantastic polished frets at that point that are really smooth. Other than that, things of note, after initially struggling to get it to stay in tune, because again, it was acclimating from an entirely different country, an entirely different humidity and climate, this thing didn't need to be tuned once after that initial tuning. The stability is great, and I expect that when I have high quality Gotoh components, because I've played high-end Japanese guitars that also share these components, and well, it definitely lives up to the reputation in that aspect. But my final verdict on this guitar is, outside of the little blemishes that I pointed out and I showed you guys when we were doing the breakdown of it, and the fact that this guitar does need a setup, it's really hard to beat this. I don't know what in this price range can even come close, especially with this high-end hardware in it. And the pickups, you know, they do have the split ability, like I said, they're just not for me. However, in full humbucker mode, again, I think they sound damn good enough where I wouldn't be rushing out to replace these. Full-size pots, really nice touch. The contour is something that is functional. Not every contour on a single cut style guitar is functional. Sometimes it can actually get in the way of your playing despite of itself, but I'm happy to report on this one, just like the SC 552, very comfortable, very easy access to the high frets, even though I'm not somebody that really finds myself in that territory very often. And just wrapping things up here, I do have an affiliate link, and I've also added the kind of my favorites to that link. That's going to be down below. It's going to have this guitar, the Fusion 3, the Gibson ES339, the Strymon Volante, the Neural DSP Quad Cortex, and a few other little things that I've gotten from Thomann that, you know, I actually feel confident enough to recommend to you guys. So if you're interested in purchasing any of those things, or this guitar itself, just click the link down below. It would really help me out. But I hope you enjoyed this little unboxing and quick demo of the Harley Benton Single Cut Deluxe Gotoh in the beautiful Daphne Blue. Again, much more vibrant than the Fusion 3 in that aspect. If you like what I'm doing on this channel, please leave me a like. Consider subscribing if you're into daily guitar content. I know some of it's just rambling, but, you know, I like doing that. I love talking about guitars, and I love talking to you guys. So leave me a comment, let me know what you think. And other than that, I will see you tomorrow for a different guitar-related video. Take care, everybody.